That's Coach Sloan. See, there we go. I was looking at
That's me.
There it is. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Listen, this is the Offensive Coordinator of Louisiana Tech. Coach Joe Sloan is on the line with us. People have been expecting this one, Coach. Got some questions for you. Got some questions for you.
Coach, man, I know you're busy, man. I know you're having a busy day, man. You got a lot of things going on. I hope you're enjoying the married life.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you tied the knot not too long ago. Just appreciate you taking the time out your busy schedule, man, to call in and kind of give us a little insight on the Louisiana Tech program and how y'all been killing it, man. These last 6 to 7 years you've been at Louisiana Tech, man. Kind of give you a little rundown on your time at Tech, man, and how you got promoted to offensive coordinator about a month ago.
Appreciate it, G. Yeah, so I've been here 7 years now. I got here with Coach Holt 7 years ago, going into 8 now. And obviously we've had 6 for the last 6 seasons, 6 bowl games in a row. I think we went 9, 9, 9, 7, 8, and 10. Finished it off this year with 10 wins and beating Miami, which obviously was a fun season, to finish it off the way we did. But I think just really the way we started when we got here was we were going to build it with local players. We were going to build it with players from Louisiana first, from South Arkansas, from Mississippi, and from East Texas and Dallas and Houston. And we were going to build it with those guys. We were going to develop them and build a program. And it was built on a lot of different core principles. Obviously, one of the number one ones was family, and I think that's the big thing up here is it's a family atmosphere. We create a family environment, and we push our guys to develop into the absolute best they could be. And what I think we've done a great job of is identifying those guys that fit into what we're doing, and then developing them into their best. And I think that's how we've turned out some really talented football players who have gone on to have special college careers, and a lot of them still playing in the National Football League today.
Coach, it's Fred. Listen, how big was the win over Miami in the bowl game, in the Independence Bowl? You guys came up big. A lot of people, when that game happened, a lot of people thought that it was Miami pissed down the leg, but I saw that as La Tech is a very good program, and I thought going into that bowl game, La Tech was the better team. How big has it been for you guys to beat Miami in that bowl game, and how has it impacted recruiting since a win of that caliber?
Well, I think I don't think you can understate the meaning of that game. When you look at, and we had 9 wins going into that game, to finish it off a 10-win season against Miami in Shreveport, an hour from Ruston.
Right.
We had basically a home crowd. We beat Illinois in the Heart of Dallas Bowl 5 years ago, and to beat the University of Miami, a storied program in college football, on national television. We're the only college football game on TV. I don't think you can understate that. I mean, I think that showed just what type of program we are. And I think for a lot of people, for you guys know what's been going on in Ruston, what's been going on at Louisiana Tech. But I think for a lot of people on the national stage, maybe they don't know the type of program that's been building here over the last few years and what type of success we've had. And I think that was a big statement. And it's paid dividends in recruiting. I mean, you hear that's the game that guys want to talk about.
Yeah.
Because everybody was watching it.
Right.
Justin Henderson went off.
Yeah, he did. And he's from about an hour from the University of Miami. So
yeah, he's out of Florida. He's out of Florida.
He stuck it to him.
Hey, to get him over 1,000 yards in that game, that was special. That was special, and I think our guys just came to play. You could see it if you were at the game, and I'm sure it showed on TV. Our guys were playing hard, physical football, and that's what we brand ourselves on. So for that to happen, and for our guys to show up and play the way they did with their pads, that was big time.
Coach Sloan, this is Coach Singleton from A-Meek. My boy, you're my boy, Coach.
That's right.
Man, but first of all, congratulations on the promotion. I texted you when I heard you got the position, and from what are we gonna expect now? Because I knew what to expect out of that receiver room, because you was putting out NFL prospects, it seemed like every year, and And when y'all was recruiting Kyle, how you would sit down and like explains the nuances and the technique that y'all gonna show him and stuff, and ultimately led him to sign it with y'all. So what are we gonna see now that you're not just the receiver coach no more, that you're now the head guy in charge of the offense? What type of are we expecting to see like record breaking numbers, i.e. like Joe Brady, baby? Are we gonna add that thing out? Are we gonna ground and pound? What we looking like?
You know what, I think our offense and since Coach Holtz has been here and he's always been very involved in the offense. So a lot of what we've been doing is going to continue to stay the same. But at the same point in time, I see really what we grew into this year. It's all going to start with a core philosophy of taking advantage of space and putting speed and matchups in space. Speed and space. It's a speed and space game. We're going to have a physical run game inside, and we're going to isolate people on the perimeter, whether it be carrying the football with screens or whether it be taking one-on-one shots, whatever that might be. And you saw a lot of that this year. And I thought really as a whole, our offense, our O-line, our perimeter players, and our quarterback really understood how we were trying to attack the defense. And I think as we go into this offseason, just sitting here looking at some of the different things that we can continue to add, I think it's only going to continue to get more exciting. Last year, I think we were top 30, top 35 in offense.
Mm-hmm.
I expect us to continue to make strides. We had a few years ago, we were top 5 in the country. But I expect us to continue to make strides. We have unbelievable talent right now on the perimeter. We're going to be breaking in a new quarterback. We got a couple guys in that competition, but a couple really talented guys. But they're going to have a lot of weapons around them. We got both of our top 2 running backs back, a lot of our O-line back, and like I said, a bunch of talent on the perimeter. So we got to do a great job of spacing defenses out and isolating different people and using that space to attack the defense. And you're going to continue to see that every single time you cut on La Tech.
Yeah.
Coach, I want to get your take on what's been pretty trendy over the last 2 to 3 years with this transfer portal.
Yeah.
That seems like every time you open your phone up in the morning when you wake up, is this guy in the transfer portal? I mean, it's become college football's own free agency, so to speak. What's your whole take on the transfer portal? Do you agree with it? I mean, what's its pros and cons to you? And how have y'all dealt with that as a coaching staff, knowing that these kids have the freedom to just be like, I'm going to put my name in the portal, and now they have the right to just be able to basically be a free agent in college football?
Yeah, so we've been really lucky, I think, with just the health of our program and the way we run our program. We haven't dealt with too many guys leaving, which I think has been good because what we always say is if we're honest with you in recruiting and we recruit you to Louisiana Tech and to Ruston and talk about the things that we're actually made of and we're built around, then when you get here, you're going to know exactly what to expect. You came to Louisiana Tech for the right reason. So if you do that, then we shouldn't have too many guys who all of a sudden are disappointed or maybe didn't know what to expect and decide they want to leave. I think that's when you get in the most trouble, is when guys don't know what to expect and they get here and then next thing you know, it's not what they thought it was going to be. So I think you got to make sure that you're honest with guys in recruiting so that they know exactly what your program's built on and what's it going to be like on a day-to-day basis. And I think Coach Holtz has done an unbelievable job of that.
So
everybody's been transferring. I mean, transfers have been going on for a while. I think the difference was the transfer portal has just made it a much more talked about thing and made it easier. Like you said, they don't necessarily have to come to coaches anymore. They can just go straight to the
portal,
athletic department and ask to be put in the portal. So sometimes I think maybe that can be a good thing, and it also, there do seem to be so many guys transferring now, right. And sometimes it's for the right reasons, and sometimes it's maybe for the wrong reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's maybe to get re-recruited, or maybe because the transfer portal is a little bit dramatized on social media and those kind of things. I think transfer is a big deal. If the college football program you're a part of is not the right place for you, and you really looked into that decision, and you've talked to your family, then transferring's okay. but transferring is hard, and you don't want to it doesn't always want to be the first option. So hopefully whenever that does happen, guys are doing it for the right reasons. I think older guys transferring who maybe aren't getting the type of play time that they want or expected, and they've given an opportunity to come in and develop in the program. I think that's a great thing. I always would love to stay away from young guys transferring as often as possible, just to let them get their feet on the ground, let them get accustomed to the program, and let them develop within the program and learn work towards that goal of getting on the field. Because you do see sometimes, you hate to see when guys around the country leave after a first year or something like that, and you know what, they would have been just fine where they were at.
Do you think they should change the rule where if you transfer from D1 to D1, they don't have to sit out, or you think they should keep it where it's at, where if you transfer from D1 to D1, you have to sit out a year?
Right now they have everybody who's a lot smarter than me figuring that out. You guys get to fight that out on social media. I do think the grad transfer rule is really good the way that it is right now. I think if you graduate, which is what it's all about as a student athlete, if you come in and you graduate and you do what you're supposed to do, and you feel like you need a new situation for your 1 year left, I get it. I do. I get it. So I'm always about, it's all about the what's best for the student athlete, and that's in terms of their growth and their experience. And if we always keep them first and what's best for their growth, their development, and then their experience while they're in college and playing college football, if we keep that first, then we'll always be doing all right. And I just hope with any decisions that are made out there, that's always the number one goal.
Now, here's my question for you, Coach. Just for it. Obviously, we know that LSU is the number one to my recruiting for the state of Louisiana. They typically land the most recruits out of this state when you're looking at it from top to bottom. But for you guys to program, is it important for Louisiana Tech, as the success you guys have had, you and Skip Holtz have been doing that for the past 7 years. You got guys like Billy Napier, who we had on here a couple of weeks ago, down at Louisiana Lafayette. We got Nichols are coming up on the rise. Tulane, who's been starting to land some solid recruits in the state of Louisiana. But when you think of La Tech and Ruston, is it important for you guys to be ranked number 2 when you think about recruiting in the state of Louisiana? Or you guys are just more focused on getting the best character kids out of this state? So which one of you guys, when you think about going to recruiting, what's a priority for you guys? Kind of landing some of the second best ranked kids in this state, or just getting the best character kids that you think could focus on graduating and help build the program from that direction?
Well, I think those two things go hand in hand. I think our priority needs to always be to be the absolute best that we can be, and in terms of, as you put it, being the second best behind LSU or whatever that might be. If we're getting the guys who we identify, the recruits that we identify, who are going to be the absolute best for our program from a character standpoint, an academic standpoint, an athletic standpoint, and those are the guys that are going to help us win championships, and that means that wherever we fall, then we fall. But when we get into recruiting battles and we identify guys who we want, then we need to make sure that we talk to them about what Louisiana Tech football is all about. And if we're recruiting the right guys and they see our program and what we're all about, then we're going to get those guys to come to Louisiana Tech. And I think that's what we've done, is identified the right guys for us who have the combination of talent and ability, character, and academics. And we've gotten them up to Ruston and made sure that they understood why they fit into this program. And those guys have fell in love with it. And when they come here, they do the same thing on a daily basis, as they commit to the process of our development, the process of being great. And that's where I think you've seen the consistency. Because you know what? You can have a great season once in a while. You can have, because you have a couple good players here and there. But in order to win 6 years in a row at the level that we've won at, it's because of consistent development and the foundation of our program. And we're not swaying away from that. So ultimately, everything that we do on a day-to-day basis, whether it be recruiting, whether it be developing our guys that are currently here, whatever, it's all about winning games on Saturdays in the fall. So that's got to be our number one focus at all times, is winning games on Saturdays in the fall. And when we keep that as our number one focus, then we'll be good.
Coach, a couple of weeks ago on signing day, a kid not too far from y'all had a letter of intent issue with Ole Miss, and now you've always been a straightforward guy with recruiting. I mean, I don't think nobody in our area has ever seen anybody other than you and Coach Holtz when it comes to recruiting kids in our area. Y'all always been straightforward with us. What is like? Because we have a lot of recruits that watch the show that come on that we interview. Like we interviewed Amik before he even signed with y'all, and so what are some advice that you can give potential recruits on like the recruiting process as a whole, of knowing like what's a committable offer to what's just like here's a flyer that gets printed out by like our department to just to get you to come see the campus or something like that?
Right. Well, what I tell, and I'll tell you exactly what I tell recruits when they're up here on campus with us, is the recruiting process is fun. Enjoy it. You get one chance to go through it, so enjoy it. But at the same point in time, always remember your goal. What's your goal? Your goal, and we talk about their goal. Hey, what's your goal? I want to be the best football player I can be. I want to graduate. For a lot of them, it's go on and play in the NFL. Well, all those goals. Okay, well, how are you gonna reach those goals? By being at the best program for you. When the recruiting process is over and you start college, are you in a place where you want to be? And that's the ultimate goal. So don't let the process and all the social media and all the different things that go on, don't enjoy that, but don't let it distract you from what your ultimate goal is, and that's being at the right place. Because ultimately, you're going to have to go live that decision. You're going to have to go be a college football player. You're going to have to go be a college student at whatever school you choose, and choose it for the right reasons, and how your life's going to be on a daily basis, and how you feel like you can accomplish your goals, and what type of program you want to be a part of. Don't do your best to try to eliminate the distractions and noise through this recruiting process. And it's tough, man. I feel for guys now, because they have a lot of distractions. They have a lot of distractions and a lot of pressure and a lot of things pulling them a lot of different ways, and they got to try to eliminate that and make the best decision for them. And it can get tough. It can get clouded. And I think they got to be very straightforward. Coaches need to be straightforward with recruits, and recruits need to ask direct questions, because I think there's a lot of things flying around right now, offer-wise, that it clouds everything. Because that study just came out. I think it said we offered 140 guys. We were like top 20 in the country in percentage of offers to signees. I mean, when you get offered by us, it's an offer. We haven't gotten into some of the other things that people around the country are doing. But I would always give the advice to recruits: understand what you want to get accomplished through this recruiting process, and make sure you find that, and don't get distracted by all the other noise.
Now, real quick before G asks another question. So take us into like the war room, so to speak. So how do y'all set up the recruiting board for like what kids to go? Because like this is a richly talented state, So how do y'all set up like this the kid we want to go after, and we going to get him, like finding like the diamonds in the rough, like Amik Robinson. I think that's probably like the best diamond find ever, regardless what level of football, to get him to come to life. So how do y'all, determine like these the ones we going after, these the ones that we want to offer, these the ones that have to be in blue and white regardless?
Right. Well, we get, we recruit a 6-hour radius. So when we get in our car and leave Ruston, we drive 6 hours in every direction, and that's the area we're going to recruit. So we're going to saturate that area. So we're going to get names from all different types of places and create a database over when you're a sophomore and you start to play well, we're going to know about you. You're going to get in our database, and we're going to start to evaluate you as you move through the recruiting process. And we'll start to understand who exactly we want to target based on character, academics, and athletic ability. And then we saturate them with our staff. We want you know what, when you come to Louisiana Tech, we're a family, and you're going to be involved with our whole staff, our community, our head coach, our assistant coaches, all the people that touch this program. And so we want you to feel like that you know all those people or are involved with all those people during the recruiting process. So we're very staff oriented. It's rare that you're just going to talk to one guy on our staff. That doesn't happen at Louisiana Tech. You're going to know multiple coaches, and you're going to feel comfortable with our football program through this recruiting process. And that's a big reason why I think a lot of guys come here, because they love that environment and they love that atmosphere.
Coach, I talked to a lot of high school coaches and even people that's GAing in college, and everybody have these aspirations of moving up in the college ranks to either be a coordinator or a position coach or even a head coach one day. And I know if you put that time in, going back to your days at East Carolina, then moving on to South Florida with Coach Holtz, and now you're offensive coordinator at Louisiana Tech. Take me through that journey and, the bumps in the road, the trials and the tribulations you went through in this coaching journey, and who are some of the people that has inspired you and kind of mentored you throughout your tenure in coaching to the day?
Well, I think that, anybody who's in coaching right now, anybody who's in college coaching could go back and tell you there's a time where they had to sacrifice a lot of things to get to where they were. When I was a GA, I slept on an air mattress for about 2.5 years, just getting out of college. I mean, that's not, I know there's a lot of guys who have similar stories and doing different things. And, I was one of the lucky ones. I got 3 years after being a GA, Coach Holtz, I was fortunate enough that he hired me here at Louisiana Tech as a full-time position coach. But a lot of guys don't get it that quick, and they got to continue to sacrifice. And it's tough. It's a commitment. But it's a special profession. You get an opportunity to work with young men on a daily basis in a really competitive environment and help them grow and become men. And you get to make a huge impact on them. And there's not a lot of professions like that. So I think it takes a sacrifice to get into this, because if not, everybody would do it. It's an awesome experience on a daily basis. So that was something, and then I got lucky enough that I took advantage of some different opportunities that Coach Holtz gave me, and tried to work hard, and he believed in me and gave me some different shots as we've gone along the way, and I've continued to really grow under him. I got to say that there's been a couple different guys who have been on his staff, but obviously Coach Holtz specifically, for just how that I have come up through this profession, and how he's mentored me, and how I've used him to grow and adjust. And I think he creates an environment where he asks me to do different things and pushes me and helps me set goals, and then helps me hold me accountable and hold me to a standard through that. And that's really been my coaching process. But I definitely got to say I owe so much to him and what he's done for me, and then also our relationship and how he's helped mentor me through that time.
Now, Coach, this is Freddie. I gotta give you guys a lot of praise. Since 2013, man, you guys at Louisiana Tech have put 12 players in the NFL, drafted players. We're not talking undrafted. We're talking about guys that were drafted. Just to name a few guys: Trent Taylor, Boston Scott, Kenneth Dixon, the transfer from Florida, Drake Driscoll. Mm-hmm. A receiver, Carlos Henderson. You guys last year also had Jalen Ferguson that went to Baltimore. This year, you guys are going to probably have a Meek Robinson who probably going to make number three.
Ain't no problem.
Who's going to probably get drafted. And we talking about, when we talking about Meek, we talking about a kid who was in essence, all pro at corner between him and Derek Stingley,
right?
Which is in the nation, what people don't even know. What's the testament to you guys, at Louisiana Tech? When people think about Louisiana Tech, just, naturally, they're not thinking pro players. But 7 out of the 12 were on the offensive side of the ball, So how is that much of a recruiting tool for you when you go out here talking to kids? Because a lot of kids thinking at themselves when they're in high school, they're the 4-star to 5-star prospect possibly. They're thinking about Sunday. My talent can translate to Sunday. They're thinking about how they're going to produce on Saturday. So tell me your story, how you use that possibly as an opportunity to let kids know, look, kids from our program, been drafted. They had an opportunity to play on Sundays. So how much of that's a testament to what you guys are doing at Louisiana Tech?
Well, I mean, if you want to be the first guy from a program to get drafted, or you want to be the first guy from a program to go to the NFL, then Louisiana Tech's not for you, because we've had a lot of guys do that. They've already blazed that path. So they've shown you what you can do. If you come in here and work hard, you're going to be in a program that's going to help you develop into the absolute best you can be. If you have that type of talent and ability, then Sunday's going to be waiting for you. And we've been fortunate enough to have some really talented football players. And then I think Coach Holtz has done an unbelievable job with this program of developing these guys into their absolute best. I mean, just in the last – this is kind of a wild stat. In the last 7 years, we have the Kenneth Dixon, second in the history of college football in touchdowns. Second in the history of college football. Okay? He played 4 years ago. Jalen Ferguson, first in the history of college football in sacks.
Yep, number one.
We've had All-Americans back-to-back years, Jalen Ferguson and Meek Robertson. I mean, you just talk about. I mean, that's right there. I don't. You don't have to go past.
You don't want to toot your own horn.
Yeah. So, I mean, we really have. We've been fortunate enough to find some special players in the areas that we recruit and identify some really good, talented prospects. Get them here, and those guys have been awesome people who've taken advantage of our program and developed into elite football players. Really, I mean, really elite football players, and they're special people. I mean, you look at those guys and what they're doing. Jalen Ferguson graduated from here, came back for his 5th year, graduated from here, broke the sack record, is doing unbelievable things, and ended up starting for Baltimore at the end of the year. You know, Meek just – I mean, I could sit here and talk for an hour about the positive things about Meek Robertson and what type of person he is, what type of work ethic he had on a daily basis, and what type of impact. Yeah, everybody knows that he made the impact on the program by being an All-American, by having all the accolades that he had. What they don't know is the impact he had on the program, that the leadership abilities that he had, and the way he changed the mindset of young players around him who could see him and look up to him and understand what type of work ethic he had, and they want to go mirror that. You know, that's what they want to be, and he's made a huge impact.
Coach Sloan, man, my last question for you. You are one of the most respected coaches throughout college football. I don't think you might realize that, because you're so humble with when you talk to everybody. What is it like to be recognized and to stay humble the way that you are? Because I remember it was a time I was like, hey, Coach, we lost Devontae Lee, we lost Kyle Maxwell, but we got some talent, but, how we get them to the next level. And you called and you talked to me about an hour. And look, I never played receiver a day in my life. but after that conversation, I felt like I can go out there and run at least 7 out of the 9 routes on the tree with like Louisiana Tech style. We get different schools that come visit us, and they all the guys always talk about you, and that's very rare, because you get some guys who come there just because they have a university, on their chest, feel like that they're above us, that they don't, saying, look, we're not here to talk with you. We just here, hey, we want to know if your kid gonna sign with us or not. So we what is it like
right.
to have that respect, but also stay true to yourself and stay humble, throughout the whole process?
Well, I really appreciate you saying that, and I was fortunate enough just to be around some good people coming up, whether from my family to my football family and to Coach Holtz and all the different guys that I've had the opportunity to work around. You know what, I look at it this way. We're in the people business. It's about relationships in everything that we do. It's about relationships with our players. It's about relationships with our prospects, our recruits. But most importantly, it's about the relationships with the people we're around throughout this state, in the high schools that we recruit from, And what we always want to do is we want to make everybody around us better. We want to do everything that we can, and I want to do everything I can to try to help someone else or help different guys grow. That's what people have done for me, and I just try to pay it forward and pay it back, and do everything I can to be my best on a daily basis. But I appreciate you saying that, and that's, I think as long as you always look at it as how can I influence and help others, and how can I continue to develop and foster relationships, man, that's the best thing we can do. And if everybody always act like that, this business would continue to thrive and be even better than it already is. And I think that's all we can ever do. And if we keep that as number one, then we'll all be good.
I'm talking about coach. If y'all need a holder coach, I'm your man. Like, I want to get to the next level, baby. I need somebody to tell you if you need a big get back coach, I'm your guy.
Scared.
Joe, man, I really appreciate you, man, taking this time to come on here, man, kind of give us your insight on Louisiana Tech football and you as a person, as a coach. And kind of just to piggyback off of what Coach Singleton just said, man, I remember when I met you about 4 or 5 years ago, spring practice at St. James. I don't know if you remember that.
That's right.
And
I remember it.
And we talked for about, you didn't know me from a
you were out there with your iPad, man.
Going back.
That was your first time ever meeting me, man. But I remember, we talked for a while that day. And, that meant something to me because I was just not getting into the media business. And, I tell people to this day when they talk about Louisiana Tech football and, thinking about Louisiana Tech, you're one of the first people, you are the first person I bring up. I'm like, Joe Sloan. This guy is a genuine guy, knows his stuff. I mean, is a relentless worker, understands the importance of relationships and building that trust with kids and wanting the best for them and not just out to just sell them a dream. And you're one of those guys. And I think that that's why you're thriving in this business. And I think you headed to big things in the future, man. I just want to say I appreciate you, bro. And hopefully I can get you back on the show later on in the season.
Absolutely, G, and I appreciate you saying that. And man, really, really glad for what y'all are doing and for all the things y'all do for the kids down there. So really appreciate everything.
All right, Joe, man. Good luck to y'all this spring, man. I know it's right around the corner, man. Good luck. Stay injury free.
Hey, appreciate it. That's all we can go. All right, y'all be good.
All right, Coach. Appreciate it, Coach. That's Coach Sloan. Oh, they changed the music. We gonna change the music. Changed it up a little bit. I thought it was going to the original.
He was cutting it off a little too early.
Yeah. You gotta let it go all the way through. Yeah.